On the Senate floor Wednesday, Senator Patty Murray voiced her support for her bill, the Let Doctors Provide Reproductive Health Care Act. Murray said the bill, quote, protects doctors providing legal abortion care and ensures they can practice medicine and save lives without fear of legal threats and intimidation. This comes after Senator Lindsey Graham introduced a bill last week that would criminalize abortion after 15 weeks into a pregnancy, the first national ban on the procedure to be introduced after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Murray said in response, quote, Republicans made clear that despite the clear outcry from people across the country, overturning Roe was just their first step.
That despite the clear outcry from people across the country, overturning Roe was just their first step. Republicans want a national abortion ban. Republicans want to force my constituents to stay pregnant even when they do not want to be and go after the doctors who provide abortion care. Well, I'm here today to continue to say in no uncertain terms, Democrats are not going to stand for it. While Republicans are busy threatening the rights of women in every state across the country and threatening doctors with jail time, Democrats are here to defend abortion rights and defend the doctors that provide that care. Because even before Republicans dropped their national abortion ban bill, I was hearing from providers in my home state of Washington who are facing a huge influx of patients due to Republicans' extreme bans. Just yesterday, the Texas Tribune shared the heartbreaking story of a woman who learned that the pregnancy she had wanted so badly was incompatible with life, that her daughter was developing without a skull or brain. But because Republicans in Texas think they know better than this woman or her doctor, she had to travel for treatment from Dallas all the way to Seattle to get the care she needed. And providers on the ground in my state tell me there are so many more patients being forced to make a trek like that. They are worried about caring for them. And not just because it's for so many more patients, not just because Republicans are straining resources and causing a healthcare crisis that puts women's lives at risk, healthcare professionals are also deeply worried about how Republicans' extreme laws threaten their practices. They are terrified Republicans will take away their livelihoods and even their freedom, just for doing their jobs, just for providing the care their patients need, care that is, once again, completely legal in my state. And they are right to be scared. When it comes to Republicans' extreme, no-holds-barred anti-abortion agenda, the writing is on the wall, and it has been for some time. Even before this latest bill, Republican state lawmakers were already drafting legislation that would make it a crime to provide abortion care to a resident, even in another state where it's legal. And they were doing this while at the same time trying to claim they didn't want to throw doctors in prison. And on top of all of that, they were standing in the way of the bill I will offer today to protect healthcare providers. Now, this is a really straightforward bill. It simply protects doctors providing legal abortion care. Last time I tried to pass it, the junior senator from Indiana said he was concerned about this bill, quote, allowing abortions for anyone who crosses state lines and is not a resident of that state. In other words, Republicans are worried about all the patients I mentioned earlier who are traveling to Washington state seeking abortion care that they urgently need. Republicans don't think they should be able to travel to Washington state to get health care. And they want to allow other states to target Washington state doctors, to threaten them for providing legal abortion care. That is extreme. It's not what doctors want, and it's definitely not what the American people want. Women and men across the country do not want politicians making their health care decisions and throwing their doctors in prison. They want to be able to make their own decisions about their own bodies, their own families, their own future. They want doctors to be able to focus on doing their jobs, not fearing a jail sentence. So I urge my Republican colleagues to step aside and allow us to pass the Let Doctors Provide Reproductive Health Care Act. This legislation is so straightforward. It protects doctors providing legal abortion care and ensures that they can practice medicine and save lives without fear of legal threats and intimidation. It makes clear that the attacks we have seen on doctors are unacceptable and that politicians should not be harassing or scaring or investigating, threatening, or punishing doctors for providing care that is perfectly legal, that patients want, and that in many cases is even necessary to save lives. Now, if Republicans have been doing what I've been doing, they've been actually listening to doctors and patients, then they should reverse course and let us get this common sense bill passed. But if they continue blocking these steps, if they continue ignoring the outcry from every corner of the country, if they continue to undermine the health of patients seeking care and the freedom of healthcare providers doing their jobs, they should know we are not going to stop pushing back. There is too much at stake. So, Mr. President, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that Judiciary Committee be discharged from further consideration of S. 4723, the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration, further that the bill can be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from